But the one thing that I do use is oil. I use it probably on a monthly basis after washing my hair, and I wash my hair on a monthly basis. Over my last 7 years of growing locks, I have used 3 oils that I really can say I enjoy using and have helped me throughout my past couple of lock journeys. But let me start with number 3. So the oil that I've used pretty much since the beginning of having natural hair, whether I was locked or not locked, is olive oil. And let me explain why olive oil is such a base starter oil that I just love so much. If you know anything about olive oil, you know that it has omegas, which people also call fatty acids. Omegas are good for giving nutrients and making your hair stronger. So just in the same way that your body, your skin use omegas and these fatty acids to be strong and maintain health, your hair does the same thing. Olive oil also has a nice consistency that's not too thick, but it's also not thin. I think it's very good for people who have tighter curls like 4C, because it'll coat each individual strand of hair and make sure that those nutrients are reaching your scalp and your strands as they should. And lastly, olive oil is good for reducing frizz. So with all that said, how do I personally like to use olive oil for my locks? When it comes to olive oil, the best way for me to use it is to get a spray bottle full of water and then add maybe about a tablespoon full of olive oil to that spray bottle. I just shake it up, and then when I feel like I need to use the oil, I just go ahead and spray all around my head. And if I feel like my roots need some extra oil, I definitely don't have a problem applying the olive oil to my fingertips and getting into my scalp. And the second oil on my list is jojoba oil. So let me explain why jojoba oil is second on my list. Jojoba oil is definitely a lightweight oil, and it has vitamin E, and it has antioxidants that'll help you with dandruff if you have dandruff, and helps keep away fungus. So that already makes it a great alternative for olive oil if you have lighter hair or if you have looser curls, because it's not as heavy as olive oil. Another thing about jojoba oil is that it adds shine, and it also softens your hair. So if you feel like your locks are dull or they're kind of like rough and not as soft as they should be, jojoba oil will probably be good for you. And because it does have the antibacterial and antioxidant properties, it'll help prevent any type of mildew smells that you might get if you sweat often, or if you're prone to bacteria in your scalp that can cause dandruff, then jojoba oil will be good for you too. And you don't need much of jojoba oil, so if you want to go with the spray bottle method with jojoba oil, definitely don't use as much as I recommend for olive oil. You might want to use like a teaspoon instead of a tablespoon per spray bottle, but you can also just apply this, you know, to your palms or to your fingertips and just do a nice massaging on your scalp, and also get your hair strands. I recommend that your hair is wet when you use any type of oils, just to lock in the moisture. Now, my number 1 oil, if you watched my last video, then you already know what this is, and if you know me, you already know what this is. But my number 1 oil is Jamaican black castor oil. So let me explain why I choose Jamaican black castor oil as my number 1 over these other 2 oils. One thing that you need to know about Jamaican black castor oil is that it is thick, so it's not something that you should be using too frequently on your hair, because it can cause buildup and it can weigh your hair down. But like I said, I only use oil probably once a month, so that's not a problem for me. Why I love it so much is it keeps your hair thick, it thickens your hair, so if you have any like thinning in your locks or your scalp, if you have any bald spots, Jamaican black castor oil is good for that. And I know people say this about oil often, but when it comes to Jamaican black castor oil, this oil actually does make your hair grow faster. I don't know what it is about this oil, but it's the only oil I've ever used where I felt like my hair was thicker and also growing faster, where it didn't used to grow fast in the past. And this happened within just a few weeks. I know people say, oh, this oil makes my hair grow fast, this oil. When I'm talking about Jamaican black castor oil, I actually mean this oil will make your hair grow faster, stronger, and just be thicker. And on top of that, it is also antifungal, so it'll help prevent dandruff and also keep away mildew smells if you sweat often. Like I said, because Jamaican black castor oil is so thick, I don't recommend using it often, and I personally don't use it often. I wash my hair about once a month, and if I'm going to use Jamaican black castor oil, I'm going to use it right after I wash. I'm going to apply it directly to my scalp so my scalp can get those nutrients and produce that healthy hair. You personally might wash every 2 weeks, which is fine, and you might find that using Jamaican black castor oil every 2 weeks after you wash is good for your locks, which is perfectly fine. The main thing is just finding a balance and figuring out how often your hair needs specific oils. So everybody's hair is different, so definitely try out different schedules for different oils. So for example, if you feel like by the end of every week your hair is dry, but you also don't feel like you need to be washing your hair every week, then it may be good for you to use the spray bottle with olive oil method and spray your hair with olive oil maybe every other day. Or if you have a looser curl pattern, then it may be good for you to use the jojoba oil with the spray bottle and spray every 3rd day. At the end of the day, our hair is very strong and resilient, and I often find that the less I manipulate my locks, the better off my locks are. But thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I respond to every comment, and I will catch you in the next video.